All right, y'all. So we got some more Black Myth Wukong. IGN got their hands on. They got 2 hours in, so let's check it out. Let's not waste no more time. You already know what the fuck time it is.
The list of impressive-looking Souls-like games on the horizon is long, with games like Phantom Blade Zero,
That shit was fire.
Siege of Dawn,
That
and
shit was
Wukong
fire.
Fallen Feathers all having solid showings this summer event season.
Wukong? They show Wukong gameplay? Oh, I'm late on that one. I need to check that one out.
But there's always been something extra special about Black Myth Wukong. It's stunningly gorgeous. The animations are incredibly fluid, it's steeped in rich Chinese culture, and there's just something immensely satisfying about playing as a Monkey King, beating up all sorts of mythical creatures with a giant extendable staff. While this isn't the first time IGN has gone hands-on with the game, it is my own personal first time with it, and after 2 hours of playtime with the opening chapter, I somehow walked away even more excited for its August 20th release.
Yeah, I've been excited for 2-3 years. I remember when it was supposed to come out in 2023 or 2024, and they pushed it back.
IGN China has already done an extensive preview on what Wukong plays like on a late game build, with many techniques, stances, and transformations already unlocked, which is great because my 2 hours covered pretty much the very start of the game. The first thing that I noticed as I started playing was how fluid and fast Wukong feels to control. Many Souls-likes are built on a foundation of slower and more methodical combat, but Wukong feels exceptionally quick and agile. From the beginning, there's actually no block button. Wukong can twirl his staff to block projectiles, but as far as melee attacks go, everything must be dodged. To that end, there's a Bayonetta-style dodge system, where you can dodge up to 3 times very quickly, but after the third one, you're punished with a lengthy recovery time to try and curb people from just mindlessly mashing the dodge button. Perfectly timed dodges will reward you with extra focus, and once your focus bar has been filled, you get a focus point that allows you to chain a strong attack into your light combo string for a big chunk of damage. Later on, those focus points can also be spent on different types of special moves that you unlock in the skill tree, which we'll get to a bit later. Wukong also has access to a number of spells that consume his mana. I only really got to play around with the Immobilize spell, which, as you can imagine, stops an enemy in their tracks and allows you to sneak in a few hits before the spell's effect wears off. Stronger enemies, and especially bosses, are affected by the spell much less, and Immobilize spell, which, as you can imagine, stops an enemy in their tracks and allows you to sneak in a few hits before the spell's effect wears off.
Oh, that actually lasts for 5 seconds, almost 5 seconds. That's something you can wail on an enemy in 5 seconds. Yeah, that was dope. I saw that ability before. I was like, that's gonna be the meta right there. That's gonna be the meta right there. That immobilize. How well you can use that and how well you can get your hits in.
Stronger enemies, and especially bosses, are affected by the spell much less, and sometimes they were able to shrug it off entirely. Even at just an early stage, combat was a fun dance of actively looking for opportunities to avoid enemy attacks and find openings, keeping an eye on my focus meter so that I can use a damaging heavy attack whenever I had the chance, while also managing my mana and cooldown for my Immobilize spell. Eventually, I got my first transformation, which turns Wukong into an absolute beast, with much stronger attacks and a hugely damaging super attack that he can use out of a dodge if he manages to build up a focus point. One of his moves in this transformation is a lightning-fast dash attack that made me feel like I had basically turned into the boss that I got the transformation from. Later on, I added another tool to my repertoire, the Tower Stance, which swapped out my chargeable overhead strong attack for the ability to stand on my staff and avoid damage on the ground as long as my stamina held out.
That's
if I managed to stay on the staff long enough for a focus point to charge, I could spend it to leap off the staff, flip it around, and come crashing down with a powerful strike that felt incredibly cool to pull off. These stances, along with my general combat abilities, could all be upgraded through a level up system that works a lot like Sekiro's. As you defeat enemies, you'll gain Will, which builds up a bar in the top right of the screen. When the bar is full, you gain a Spark, which can be used to purchase upgrades from one of your various skill trees. Once you fill the bar and bank a point, you can't lose it. You can even add that point wherever you want, not just at a shrine, which serves as Wukong's version of a bonfire-like checkpoint. However, if you die before you manage to fill the bar, a portion of that experience will be lost in typical Souls-like fashion. Don't let that trick you into thinking that Wukong is an easy game though, because it certainly is not. Enemies are aggressive, bosses are relentless, and even more so in their second phases, and you only have a scant few restorative potions to keep yourself alive. I also managed to find a secret boss room behind a waterfall that took me to a dragon boss that absolutely wrecked me. Fortunately, you can teleport from shrine to shrine, so you can come back to him much later down the road once you've upgraded your gear and add some more points into your skill trees. And speaking of gear, I didn't manage to find all that much, but I did find enough to at least know that there are sets of armor that grant extra bonuses for wearing multiple pieces of gear from that set. The levels themselves were fairly linear with a couple of branching points that led to some sort of treasure or item pickup. The real star of the show, though, were the boss battles. Even in just 2 hours, I fought against a wide variety of bosses, from a speedy wolf boss that I snagged my first transformation from, to a mule-kicking frog in human clothes, to an extremely difficult battle against a snake man. All in all, I greatly enjoyed my time with Black Myth Wukong. Even in just 2 hours of playtime, I felt like I got to experience a lot of combat progression, and am excited to see how things will continue to evolve as the game goes on. We won't have to wait much longer to see how the full game shakes out, as Black Myth Wukong releases on PC and PlayStation 5 on August 20th.
Also, only PC and PlayStation 5, no Xbox? I thought it was coming to Xbox. Yeah, we reacted to that video last year, that Gamescom video. That 20 minutes of gameplay. But this game looks awesome. I like the variety at which you could deal with your opponents. Because one thing about me, when I play these type of games, especially Souls-like, I'm the type to use every single resource given to me to win. I do not care. I don't care if it's a summon. I don't care if it's magic. I don't care if it's a cheesy build or cheesy weapon OP weapon that gets cheesy once you level it up. I don't care. If it's in the game, I can use it. It's not cheating. I'm not one of them people that'd be like, oh, you did the easy playthrough, you didn't do a real playthrough, you didn't really beat the game. That's for y'all little nerds to do, and not to say I'm not a nerd too, but y'all really on some nerdy shit like saying, oh, you didn't really beat the game. You use magic, use this, use that, use summons. Like, fuck that. If it's in the game, I'm going to use it. And if anybody got a problem with it, oh, well, what are you going to do? You can't stop me. I still beat the game. I still got the same achievement you got, and you handicapped yourself, made the game harder for yourself, goofy. So, like, yeah, so everybody should be able to play these games how they want to play them. You know? If it's difficult and they give you a tool to make it less difficult, or just not even to make it less difficult with these games, to even the score, what can you really say? What can you really say? Like, they give you tools to make it to where you can dominate your opponent. I'm going to use them, especially if I took all the time to search and earn them and level it up and all that stuff. Are you crazy? Like, I could make a whole video ranting on Souls games and how toxic some players are in the Souls community. Talking about, oh, you didn't really beat the game if you did like this. Like Stellar Blade, like if you didn't beat it with no armor on, then you didn't really beat the game. But I got the same trophy you got and you struggled. So what does that say? Like, you didn't get no extra trophy for beating it with no armor on. Now, if there was an extra trophy for doing all these goofy ass handicaps that y'all come up with, then I understand. But there's not. We get the same trophies, same achievements. So, like, y'all really on some bullshit with that. Like, but I mean, hey, but anyway, end of the day, teach their own. Teach their own. I just hate that, like, because you use the tools that are given to you in the game, people say, oh, it doesn't count. Like, that's corny to me. So yeah. But anywho, that's enough ranting. I could go on a whole rant about that, but I'm not going to. But yeah, so yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments, right? So you already know the vibes. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. So boy, JusticeXFalls, and we out. One.